could be some troubles. And if the Dire want to, they can also pick up Vengeful Spirit. They're still missing one support hero, and VS wouldn't be a bad choice. To actually have Beastmaster have to waste his Roar on Enigma all the time, kind of a bit of a pain in the ass, but you can actually swap Enigma out of his Black Hole, and it stops the channeling of the Black Hole. So maybe an option for them. That also gives you an early game stun, negative armor as well for when you know the Night Stalker will be coming and trying to be aggressive, so maybe a bit of an option for the Dire. The Radiant have their pick right now, and we do see the Faceless Void coming out. I'm really not that surprised, considering I've been saying that. The Void did fit in perfectly. He wants the extra mana, so he can actually time walk himself around. Very, very similar to the Blink of Anti-Mage, but what makes it a little bit different is when he actually passes over the top of something, he actually slows it. So it's great for actually pursuing down heroes who are currently on the run. And it's also going to be good to actually try and bring down Viper, because Viper would just love to attack. But it's always critical to get the ultimate right. If you don't get the ultimate right, then you're kind of screwed. There are the downside is, if Mirana's not the damage dealer, if Night Stalker ends up being the damage dealer, Night Stalker won't be able to make the most of that Void ultimate. Like, sometimes you see the Void ultimate coupled with the Lich, and then the Lich will basically just toss the ulti out, and you can't move. So the Lich ulti is fully effective. Or you can attack from outside, but Night Stalker needs to get in close, which means he'll have to walk inside of that Void ultimate, at which point he gets stunned just like everybody else. That's why the Chronosphere is such a horrible, horrible thing to get wrong, because you can put your team in the worst position possible. And if that Chronosphere does go wrong and they don't grab Viper, Viper will have all the time in the world to kill whoever does get trapped inside of that. So it could be a problem for him. And shout out to Goose as well, who's trying to listen in, but English is not a strong side for him. But hello to you. Holy crap, we're actually almost at 2,500. Tidehunter comes up as the last pick. So even then, Enigma's having even more of a hard time. Also changed Tidehunter's animation, so he's actually underwater. That's good. Doesn't look like he's panting for breath. Yeah. So players will now select up their heroes. Looks like there's only a couple left to actually go. There's just that small amount of color across the top. So the Dire have already picked up theirs. So it looks like, well, actually, I'd like to say who's actually playing what, but we can't actually see that. It doesn't show me any of that. Yeah, but that Black Hole's going to have a very, very hard time getting off. Like a massively hard time. There's a lot of teamfight potential for the Radiant, but there's not a great capitalizing for their lineup. And that's what I'm actually going to be really worried about for that. To actually combine the ultimates of Enigma and then the ultimates of Faceless Void, that's two big area of effect disables. If they're not chained off properly, if they don't grab the right people, then you're going to be finding both of them just wasting, and Mirana's got to be dealing the damage. So Mirana's got to get good farm early on, so we'll watch her very, very, very closely. See how that's going to go. In the meantime, we'll see who's actually in place as well. So Universe playing as Windrunner, 1437 playing as Amazing Earthshaker, one of the best Earthshakers. I love watching him. I kind of have the same feeling of 1437 as I did for Roy and Koi, the two stunning combinations, because it was Roy who always played the Earthshaker, unless I don't have that wrong. This was always Earthshaker and VS. They just love that combination. But they're going to look for the first blood on the bottom lane. And with that early smoke, a little bit of extra movement speed, and also just hides them from any kind of having a look around. There's Danny just walking down towards the tower. Very, very safe there for Void. They kind of going to feel like a gank's going to be coming for them anyway. And that smoke's about to wear off. And yep, there we go. Wears off. In the meantime, Faceless Void doesn't really feel like there's anybody here, and they've gone a long way up. And they might actually get caught. Oh, they are. They dropped the ward for vision. And they just get back around the tree. So it is the Dire that does nicely see them. However, they do catch off Crystal Maiden. There's no stun. However, the fissure will be there, but it's not close enough. So it's going to be time for Viper to either head back in towards the middle lane, and we might see a Viper Tidehunter middle lane, which will leave our Earthshaker Windrunner lane. Not a big surprise for that as far as Earthshaker being down here. It's a continuous thing that Easy have loved to actually do. And where they actually run a support hero on the bottom lane with the side solo, so it doesn't actually become a side solo anymore. And they're actually going to throw Tidehunter down here as well, so it's actually become a tri-lane on the bottom lane. But it's not a bad thing to actually do, especially in Earthshaker. You can throw down that fissure, and if things go bad, then all of a sudden it's just like, hey, sweet, fissure's there, I can get away. And Windrunner doesn't become massively dependent on that wind run to always escape. In the meantime, it will be Viper on that Night Stalker, so they're going for the more aggressive build. I'm talking lane placement easy. They want to run that Viper in mid, which does cause issues for Night Stalker. He will be forced back. He's also facing 3 Vipers. The first rune does go to easy. But that does leave our top lane of Mirana versus Bulba. At this point, I'm not quite sure about Easy's decision. It is going to be great for Viper to get stronger. And if Viper does get stronger, then life's going to be looking even better for him. But to actually give a little bit of farm to the Mirana, Beastmaster's really got to stay on top of that lane. And we'll be watching that CS very, very closely. In fact, Bulb's actually already 4 for 1, and Mirana is actually only 3 for 0. So it's not amazing, and there goes the Axis, so Bulb gets even more. So Mirana's going to be really careful up there on that top lane, but has to stay on top of that farm. Needs to become that ever so critical Force style Mirana. If I see a Lincoln's on her, I will get massively depressed. In the meantime, Faceless Void having a lot of troubles on bottom lane. Realizes there's the slow as well as the fissure, as well as the chain stun if Windrunner can actually get it. So there goes our Gush. There goes the fissure. Shackle Shot can also latch this one if he wanted to. But they're just trying to damage down Faceless Void. Already having to go the 1 level on the backtrack. We'll just pray that things actually work out right for him. At this point, it won't. So Faceless Void is going to have a bit of a hard time on that bottom lane. It is still 1 Ranger versus 2 melee, and speaking of that, thought I'd just go for a little bit of a wander around. They have vision to know when these heroes are here. I think it's also a great choice to actually have the tri-lane already Gush, and there's the force to use the mana. There's no CM aura up just yet. I won't be getting that back anytime soon. Already munching on the tangos, just tries to stay on the front lines and hopes to actually farm through hard times. Well done, CM. I love the sound files. Sometimes I've actually got to stop to actually listen to the sound files. They just sound so freaking awesome. Especially like it's a hero denying a certain hero or a certain hero kills another hero. Lena and Windrunner kind of have like this Ranger battle going on. In the meantime, if you have just tuned in, welcome to the stream. This is Join Dota's, well, it's not actually our tournament, but it's our tournament. We're running it through Join Dota, but it is brought to you by Own3D TV, which is where you are currently finding your stream. So $10,000, 10,000 euros, sorry, 14,000 US is actually up for grabs here in the prize pool. The 6,000 euro will go to the winning team. They've got 2 group stages as well as a playoff to actually get through before they find themselves actually, well, taking home the big bucks. It's a long time to actually go through too as well. We have a lot of LAN events coming up. DreamHack will be coming up next weekend. We also have coming up a little bit after that. In fact, the weekend after that will be SMM. Join Dota, myself, W1. We'll be live in Malaysia covering that one. And then after that, we've actually got our trip to Kiev. As long as I can get my visa in order, I should actually be there for that event too. In the meantime, gank on the top lane. Good time for Enigma to come through. So there's just easy kills. And this should be the first kill as well to Mirana. Exactly the start that the Radiant want. And that's the issue I was talking about, having Beastmaster up on that top lane. It's not an easy lane for him, especially when he finds himself low on mana. He's got no money whatsoever, nothing in the stash, a stout shield and 3 branches. Used up every single consumable, and then Enigma came at the right time to rotate from the bottom. And now also with the Soul Ring, we'll probably just plant himself up here in the dire neutrals and get a lot of money from that farm. In the meantime, though, nice Stalker up at level 5. We're about to enter our first nighttime cycle. So 1 kill will be the least of Easy's worries. For them, it's going to be, okay, we need to be able to take him one-on-one. On the bright side for them, though, Void also doesn't have a lot of farm. So it's not as bad as the Beastmaster. Oh, wow, Beastmaster could die again. He's actually got his boar up, so that's going to help him out. It's like, yeah, they've also got the Greater Hawk sitting on the back line, so they can actually see what those conversions are doing. But the Radiant can't see the fact that the Hawk is there. It does go invisible. Only when it stops moving, though. It's actually a bit of a glitch, which we found during the International, where Doombringer can actually devour the Greater Hawk. And if you stop moving, he'll actually go invisible too. He'd actually take the ability of the Greater Hawk. Power Shot looks like it's just trying to help push this wave down. They can do a little bit of damage towards this tower. They might even look for a kill right now. Tunnel's hanging around the rear end. It's going to be hard to kill that Faceless Void. He still actually has that time walk. And now with the backtrack up at a 15% chance, well, it doesn't seem like much, but a couple